All right. Once again, thank you to 93.7 The Bridge for sending us to Rockville. The second interview we had on the first day was a band called Imperial Tide.
Yeah, we got to sit down with Landon, the lead vocalist, and learn a lot about their band and actually all of the band members' many talents, from video producing.
Yeah, their
to
video,
merch.
when you watch the video with the music, it's really good, I have to admit. It might not be your cup of tea for the music, but with the video, it's nice.
Yeah. Definitely a very artistic band, and we had a lot of fun sitting down with Landon.
They did a lot of artwork that was at the festival, too.
Yeah, it was really neat.
So, once again, still learning curve. It was the first day. We had to get it figured out, but this was a little bit better.
Yeah, and it was a good combo.
Yeah.
How did it feel being back and performing again? And how did it feel when we missed the set? We wanted to know we were Saliva, but was it cool?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was our first, these are other festivals, never had a DJ festival. It's always been on the fourth stage. So it's definitely the biggest amount of space I've had to cover. I was like, I probably should have got my cardio up a little bit before. But yeah.
Especially in the heat.
Well, we're a Vegas band, right? So it's like 120 in the summer, and we pretty much don't get summer festivals out there. They know better than to do so. But for the most part, we're pretty cut for this clock. But
right, with like the humidity versus like the temperature.
yeah, which this was so much better. Yours wasn't about. I was like, 'cause sometimes in that dry heat, it's like drinking lava.
Yeah, right. It's just drinking hot water.
Yeah, which is probably good for my voice too. So
That's cool. So yeah, and I did see that you guys did form in Vegas. You guys are childhood friends, is that right?
Yeah, all of us, 3 of us were in our first band together. 13 years old, so that's Keen, myself, and Tanner, bassist and guitarist. And we've been in bands together for 17 years. Yeah, a really long time. And then the rest of our guys, Russell, who's our drummer, he was like my little brother since that point. He was like 2 years younger. He was in bands at the same time. They were like our little brothers. They would open our shows and do that. And then we just became like this. And Will is our other guitarist. He was in a band called At the Skylines that was on Roadrunner Records. And we were on the same management 2010 or even earlier than that. It's called DJQ Artist Management. He drives them out like Lil Wayne. Great dude, but yeah, and that's how we met Will, and then we became friends, and then At the Skylines broke up, and then we were like, hey, you want to join Tide? And he was like, yeah, I'm doing nothing. I'm about to Vegas, so
it sounds like you guys kind of had a few different bands and you merged. So how long has Imperial Tide been together and been?
So it's an interest. We're in our second iteration in the same lineup. So we were rebirthed out of the pandemic. All of us were sitting, doing our own things. I was in another band. A couple of us were doing other projects. Will was like touring with Secrets and bands like that. And then we're all just like, well, we're not doing anything. We stopped playing music because of school. All of us were like, got through high school. We did to 21 years old, we were Imperial Tide. We released a demo. We were just an independent band doing it. And then every one of us was like, I think I want to go to school, or one of us was like, I'm going to move over here. So we all just took the moment to do our own thing for a little bit. And then after the pandemic came around, what are you doing? We just quarantined for like a month together at one of our guys' houses. And we recorded the demos that eventually got us on Space Eater Show, which was a derivative show during the pandemic on Twitch from the Anyone Who Presents team. So it was like Wes Borland, Bobby, and Josh Balls, and producer Jake. And they were doing contests for a record deal with Alchemy, which was the first record label. And we did that. And at the time, I had other bands. So we had 2 bands competing in the same thing. Imperial Tide won. We got second place. But of my bands, another band got third, second, and then another band had won. They got the deal. And because of that, the fans voted us to come to Rockville 21. And when we got that call, it was a week before the show. All of us were like, let's do it. We'll make it happen. So we just came out, we performed. A representative from Mascot Records was sent out and got to watch us, and signed the deal. And now it's posting credits.
You guys really in the spot, and that you are a very creative band. Like aside from just
obviously it's a big portion, but how does that all come together with all of your guys' creativity and their styles? And I mean, what does that process look like? What's the vision that you guys are kind of sitting down and creating?
It's interesting. You know, I never really think about it other than we're just 5 really strong creative personalities that all come from very different influences and things. Where we cross on our influences is where we shine and thrive. Keen is a video photographer, director.
Slip, right?
Yeah, he's directed
We
Slip.
loved that. We wanted to talk
video.
about that.
Yeah,
too.
he directed Slip and Off the Leash, and he really does lay the groundwork for all of the quality that we put out, because his work is just so incredible, and his job is commercial videography, so that's what he does for cannabis brands, which runs very parallel to our universe. We're very much forward-thinking when it comes to cannabis and alcohol. Vegas, you know, it's kind of part of our core. And and Russell is an incredible producer. He's produced music for tons of top artists and rap artists and does that, and that's where his drum influence comes. And then Will is very much metal. You know, he's been this forever, you know, so. And all of that together kind of brings me Tigers. And we just wrap it up in a bow, and we produced every record with Mike Somm, who is just an incredible producer, he's worked on Crown Magnetar, just a bunch of really heavy bands and a bunch of really poppy bands and everything in between. So he was our original producer in 2011. So he was with us in Las Vegas, and then he went off and did his own thing and became an incredible producer. So since then, we just kind of, what makes Tide special is the 5 of us getting in a room and forcing the collaboration. Because individually, we all can do what we need to do this. You know, Will and I are on the creative team for DWP for the year. That's what we do for our full time. So we worked on this art and this festival, and all of the banners and everything you see went through Will and I as well. And the merch, we did the majority of the merch this year. So to see the fruits of our labor on 2 fronts when we come here,
Yeah, you guys are
and then the music is just the fun part.
Yeah.
That's what we have to remind it, because now as a stage, like, we're reminded that we're all content creators first, you know, and unfortunately, you get told that you're a content creator first in your music, and if you're not creating content, no matter how good your music is, it doesn't matter. So we have tried to do both, and be as thoughtful in the product we put out without being cliche, while trying to serve our fans, super serve them in the space where we don't want to just give them like the bare, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where our creative, our everything really is our superpower. It collide, but that's a part of being best friends since we were all teenagers. We can survive.
Too, yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Well, and what are, I guess, some of your influences, whether it is with all the creative aspects, whether it's music, performance, any of that, like, where do you kind of draw from some of those experiences or influences to help shape
The band?
the band and the music?
So I would say, for musically, it's everything. It's what we listen to. I mean, I get dogged on it all the time, but Limp Bizkit was my favorite band at the time. It was
I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Literally, I watched them at Aftershock. I've seen them so many times, and every performance is just incredible. The level of respect they give, while also having a really good time, is what I enjoy. Keen's biggest influence right now is Shikari. He's been watching them travel Europe and America. He went and watched them at the O2 at Wembley in Europe. And so we're very much influenced by the scale of which European headliner rock is, because we are very overstimulated in America. There's so many shows, there's so many tours, there's so many things happening. We're there, they put a lot of thought into the music and the show and the production, and that's something that we try to bring to our shows. If we can't do a large production, we're still going to try to make it feel like that with however we see it in the show.
That's great. Incredible. Commendable to be, relatively young and new.
Opening,
But just, really being able to capture a lot of the aspects of your life.
set up like an experience at the merch booth with a old CRT TV. Come and watch we put our old videos, because our old catalog no longer exists in the ethos of you can find it on the internet, but it's not like something that we push out. So when we do our shows, we try to give our fans like they can grab onto these old records and they're not. If it was a physical CD published at our shows that some people haven't put on YouTube or things like that. So that's a really special thing that we try to our fans that have been around for 10 years, even though they didn't but we really try to just put on as big a show as possible at every level that we can. If it's a floor show, we're going to try to make it feel as big as possible. If it's the main stage at Rockville, we're going to try to fill the stage, because there's big shoes to fill when you got everything just increases after, So, exactly. And then know like who follows us, it's I'm always told that music isn't a competition, but I feel it is. I feel like we have charts for a reason, we have all these things, and as much as like nobody's my competition, I'm never taking money out of my money, but when I see somebody doing something, like when I see them music, I want to do that. I want to be as big as I want to be as big as them. How can I learn from them and apply it to what we do? And I think that's what all 5 of us are, because we're creatively in so many fields. We see different things that we bring to the set, whether it's production or video. Exactly. I heard you guys are very much into the logistics of travel. Is that what I was?
Yeah, we're full-time RVers, so we're always curious about this.
Yes,
so we were totally curious about it. You had mentioned touring, going over to Europe and all of that, and like what is your style of like touring right now? What are you just like rolling around in?
So we are very much right now we're a festival band. We've been very blessed for the last year to get So What Festival, which is a Dallas, Texas festival, which is just incredible. We get the Danny Women Presents festivals thrown to us and all these opportunities. So we are very much a travel break band. We have our setup to fly. We are very much getting ourselves to the festivals and flying with our racks, and that's our travel right now. We're on Southwest or United flights, and that's what we've been doing for the last year.
Just renting vans when you get into town.
When we land, we just rent and we throw our van. We get a hotel. We make it as easy on ourselves as possible. We've all done the hard touring, right? Like I did Warped Tour as a photographer, and Will has done tours with at the Skylines that was like full Europe tours and full across America and all of these things. And we did it in our first iteration of Tide and tour, and it's so hard. And it's something that we love to do when we get the opportunity. And we have some opportunities coming up in June. And then that's when we'll go and we usually rent. It's just logistically it makes sense for us.
You're talking about renting a bus, right?
Yeah, or sprinters or band to go or band wagons. It really depends on the tour and the space that we get. But for the most part, we have our trailer. That's pretty much the only investment we need to make is that, and then the band is kind of come and go just because it's a depreciating asset. I mean, you guys as an RVers, it's your home, it's your asset. My family, our RV, I grew up in an RV. I used to race. I was weekend warriors. Every weekend we'd go out to the dunes or out, and Russell and I both did. And so we lived our lives in fifth wheels, things like that. And my parents are retired and going to be traveling around in their Winnebago RV and go around. So that is very much a part of the ethos of our lives is the travel. But we haven't yet, in our short time back as Tide, gone on a hardcore tour for a month. We've been really working to establish a sound and a fan base and try to put music out. We put our record out. And we've only been, our record came out less than a year ago, so that was our debut. We signed with Mascot tail end of 22. I think we announced in 23, so it's been a slow roll. We definitely are putting our feet down, trying to enjoy these moments and really like taking in the scale of how big this is and trying to set that as a standard for people. Because when we get our tour, we have a tour towards the end of the year, and it's a great, strong lineup. And that's the one thing we really push for. It's going to be on tour. We want to make sure that, because we are the new band, we usually have a little big slot. So that being the point, we want to make sure sure that those logistically make sense all the time. Because as a band, we just eat shit for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're told to just like go ahead, you sleep in your band and you do it.
Gotta grind.
Grind, and like you can grind yourself into the and that's what a lot of bands do. And we love this so much that we just want to keep music out. Getting these flights to fly, and it might not be logistically the best, sometimes it's a little more expensive, but the experience. We're only here, like I say this every time we're on stage, we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
So if I'm here, we all can't be Kerry Kings. I hope so. Sure, fucking hope so. But if if the time I get here is this, I'm glad it's so enjoyable. So that's our focus when we're traveling.
It's such a great lineup too with you guys. I mean, you got to be looking forward to that. I mean, there's some legends on the bill this year.
I'll tell you, being in the behind the scenes of these festivals and seeing the way these lineups come together and seeing just the love and thought that they put into each air, like they know rap, they know this, they know Aftershock, they know Louder Than Life, and they're so specific, and we build. These are the biggest fucking. I don't know another festival company that does it this consistent. You might get a big year for one of these guys out there, and they might do, but they're one day fest.
Yeah.
It's 4 days, and technically 5 if you count the RV day that was yesterday, right? Which Hinder is packing out that stage. That was a huge day. I think Megadeth was last year's.
Oh really?
So like the scale, the weekend long. We're just happy to be a part of it. We got to do Aftershock last year in October, and we played after them. So Korn played, they rapped, and we played the stage right next to the exit.
How did that feel?
It was like accomplishing everything that you seek out. Like when we get festivals as being a new band, we're always there. It's like the hottest point of the day. It's bright. It's hot. You're like that's just having a night set. So that's why I have so much love for these festivals, because they're putting us on a pedestal next to these bands. The bands that are opening or like playing that stage tomorrow and the day after that are established acts. The fact that they believe in Imperial Tide and what we do to put us on that pedestal is something I don't take for granted. So we're happy to be at these things every time. Catering's good. Free booze. So
you guys here for the whole kit caboodle then, or are you leaving?
I'll be here all weekend.
Okay.
Myself and Will be here all weekend, and the rest of the boys I think are gonna fly home. We're spoiled. Will and I live in LA now. We moved to LA towards the end of the pandemic, just to take on the career of being in the music business. It's kind of hard to. You can do it everywhere. Everybody knows that. But when you're in LA or in New York, it's just yours to take. I prefer it. So I will go back, but flights were a little cheaper to LA than Vegas, so we're gonna enjoy the weekend.
So Cam, you mentioned performing right after Korn, all of that, and is that what is your measure of success? Like, do you guys? I know again you're still pretty newish with this iteration, but what does that look like for you? What's the next thing that you're looking to grab from?
I think we're looking for consistency. I think that's the biggest ask of when we do these shows. I would love to do it every month, all the time. So when we get, it's hard. We tour or we do shows and we do these gigs and it's prolonged, 2 to 3 weeks. And it's hyper focused. I would love if it was a long freedom. That's really the only thing that I want to have. Outside of that, we've succeeded. I want to keep releasing music. That's the number one most important thing to me. That's the one thing that lasts after the band's gone. People can come see us, and that's what I have afterwards. I find there's so many bands that I listen to after everybody in the band's dead. And I'm like, and that's something that's exciting to me to think that we could produce music that we could do that. So that's what we're focused on right now, is really putting together an incredible album that will hopefully bring in fans. Something that we can build longevity on, rather than like we talk about content. Everything is like just keep releasing stuff and do that, and we try to be thoughtful, in the product we put out and making sure that people enjoy it. So that's really, I think that's our measure. just keeping it going and not, doing what we want. That's why we really like Mascot. They understand that we have a very strict idea of who we are as a band, the level of creativity. We've produced videos and not put them out, and then like that's hard to tell someone, we're just, that's not at the level that we want to sign off on. And I think that does something for hopefully our fans and hopefully for us. Just keep putting quality stuff out and measure, and hopefully the budgets get bigger and we can do more, and that's the measure. Like, okay, if the label gives me more to play with, and that's all I can ask.
It probably just bounces up though each time you hit that plateau. It's like, no, we get here.
Yeah, and the better we do, and like the numbers are, again, it's a numbers game. So that's a measure of success for me. I am a marketing person. It's just, I think that's why marketing, design, create. That's what my focus was and always has been. And I think that's probably my measure. That's where my measure of success comes from. Is trying to build up the numbers. That way I can be like, Billboard, or that's what it is the Grammy nominations. Those things do excite me. If that's on a level that we can strive to, that is where I want to go. And once I hit that, then I'll worry about if that made me happy or not. Try to find happiness in the process. That's the biggest thing that we discuss as a band. It's like, if we're working on something and we're not having fun, it's not working. So
I love that. Fun seems to be like the theme too.
Yes.
Just really keeping it.
You have to keep it light, because heavy metal is very serious. For whatever reason, it's very serious. It was fun when it started, and some last 20 years where it's become like the tough guy thing, and like that's just part of the process. But I don't know. We'd like to have fun while also making some tough.
Very cool. Well, Landon, I do want to
thank you. I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you for meeting with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.